When you have a fast mind, a fast nervous system, you are naturally philosophical. You don't really buy into a lot of victimhood bullshit. And you are also highly intelligent and sensitive. A lot of nervous system and healing advice is probably not super appropriate for you. And I want to break this down. In the world of the nervous system, I really think of nervous system archetypes. So we have, generally speaking, either more parasympathetically dominant or more sympathetically dominant. Women who are more parasympathetically dominant, I have quite a few friends like this, are often the women who are naturally more attracted to, maybe it's like homemaking. They feel like they can have access to slow pleasure very easily, and they typically don't have a problem with relaxation and the kind of like down regulation end of the evening. And there are those kind of women who seem like they can access peace very easily. But this kind of woman also often struggles if she's trying to grow a business, if she is wanting to take care of her physical health more in terms of like moving her body more, she might struggle more with that. So she's really good at the yin and maybe struggles a little bit with the yang. This is also what we are typically shown as like the most common feminine archetype, and that's just one of them. And then there is women who are more sympathetically dominant. This is me, and so this is a lot of my programs are geared towards women that are like this. So sympathetic dominance is you're a little bit more oriented towards the yang naturally. So your baseline is more of an action, more of a doer. Movement for you is extremely important as a way to discharge a lot of the sympathetic buildup or charge that you have in your system. And so for you, you might actually feel really good about taking action, but you have pretty much an addiction to intensity in your nervous system, and you often really struggle to access consistently that yin, that deep physiological, just like I can just drop and I can just feel slow pleasure and I can relax and I can just watch a movie and feel like I shouldn't be doing anything else. You really struggle with that part. And so most people will tell you that you really, really, really need to balance out your yang by doing all of these yin type things, and you really need to learn how to slow down. Yes and no. If you try to slow down too quickly or you oversettle your system, it will likely be perceived as a threat by your nervous system, and you will literally go too far into activation. And so now you're activated, but you're under threat instead of being activated and within your window of tolerance. And here's probably the biggest realization that I learned about working with my own nervous system and psychology in this way. My job is not to reduce my yang. It is not to reduce my sympathetic dominance. It is not to try and overbalance it or go into yin mode. It is actually to resource my physiology and my life so much that I can handle the peak states. I can handle the fire. I can handle the sympathetic dominance. And this really changes your orientation to how you view supporting your body. So instead of saying, okay, tonight I'm going to turn candles on and I'm going to really force myself to spend 3 hours without really thinking and try and be in my body, and this is going to kind of heal my sympathetic dominance and it's going to bring my fire down, I want you to instead ask, what will allow me to remain present and feel safe while I'm in my fire? And to share an image with you that I had the other day, because I'm building this program called Healthy Hustle, and we're going to be using a lot of animism and imagery to help you really bring online your visual channel to work with this. And so for me, I feel like I'm constantly swimming in an ocean of fire. And so when I'm thinking about learning how to mobilize and take action in a way that doesn't deplete my physiology and my nervous system, but actually helps me feel like there's reciprocity, I'm gaining a lot from where I'm putting my energy, instead of trying to drown out that fire by putting so much water on it, I'm like, that fire's fucking there, whether I want it to be or not. So to me, it was actually about bringing like a drop of water or a drop of the ocean into the core, into the center of my ocean of fire, just enough that it almost softens the edge of the fire, so that instead of going into the fire being this like on or off experience, it's a little bit more fluid. And recognizing that my job is not to go searching for the charge. It is not to go searching for the action. It is recognizing that that is so very present in my body, in my energy field, that all I need to do is have the subtlest balancing with the water, with the yin, with the slowing down, but not to try and become a yin core, or not to try and become a parasympathetically dominant woman, because the more you try and do that, you will literally be fighting against the very nature of who you are as a woman, and that will cause more nervous system dysregulation. Because the truth is that you need to be stimulated. And for me, I know there's the saying, give work to a busy person. This is so true for me. And what I had to realize was that there was a very big difference of being this sympathetically dominant, fiery archetype when I was under resourced, meaning I literally wasn't eating enough. I was doing a lot of health stuff that was based on male physiology. I was not able to actually access the depth of my feminine psyche because I was so under resourced, and I saw feeling and slowing down as evil. But now that I have been able to resource myself physiologically, mentally, emotionally, financially, relationally, the fire no longer feels like it is both a blessing and a curse. It feels mostly like a blessing. And I know I have the responsibility for the rest of my life to cultivate a life that allows that fire to continue to make me feel closer and closer and closer to God or goddess or source or whatever you use. Because the truth is that when I am in a passionate state, not a manic state, when I'm in a passionate state, that is when I feel closest to God, not when I'm trying to force myself to slow down too much.